So in this video we are going to be continuing to take a look at a scenario where civilization starts over. We are now on episode 16 of the series, and in the last episode, and this is a pretty big spoiler, we saw the very large Baikal coalition take place, and of course the Baikal country lost that war. Now they've been absolutely destroyed. So if you didn't watch that video, make sure to go watch it now, because otherwise, well, that's just a massive spoiler there. But anyway, yeah, if you do end up enjoying this video, please make sure to like and subscribe, and let's begin. So we're going to be starting off with our daily Japan update. This is something I hadn't done last episode because I was just focusing on that war. Let's go and have a look at it now. So this daily Japan update is going to be a pretty large war actually compared to the other ones, and it's all going to start when this purple country over here starts an invasion of the lime country. The purple country is going to quickly move into the lime country, but not before the red country gets involved. And seeing how close the capital of the purple country is to their border, they're going to move in and quickly take it. This does somewhat have an effect, however the purple team still captures the capital of the lime team and causes it to surrender. And when the red team continues moving on, it's kind of just going to lead to a stalemate. And then the two are going to have to sign a ceasefire. So in this peace treaty here, we can see that kind of just some land has been traded, and this orange city, not in the greatest spot. But next up, we are going to be seeing some exploration and some colonization take place. So, in Australia, the Indonesians are going to continue their exploration of it. Now they're like really in the outback areas, so they can't really do too much of it. But the exploration we're going to be looking at today is mainly going to be focusing on the Americas. So, the English country up here, they're going to discover quite a lot of these Great Lakes. They're going to move in and kind of just map them out. They kind of just want to see what's going on up here. They are then also going to continue over here to this Newfoundland right here, and they explore kind of the northern coast of Quebec. We also see the Swedish country send out a pretty large exhibition, and they meet up with this. I think it's like South Baffin Island or something. And these waters are now mapped, and they now know that there's like a connection point to the Hudson Bay. We also see a lot of this central area over here be explored, as well as a lot of coast of the Gulf of Mexico. From here we see quite a bit of the discovery of the South American coast take place. However, they really don't go in too far because of the jungles and that. We also see now the full discovery of the coast of the Gulf of Mexico, and a Swedish explorer is going to try and map out as much of Greenland as he can. He gets about this much before it just gets really cold for him. From here we see a few exploration groups go down south, and they actually discover that there's like a very thin connection point right here at Panama. They kind of just go across it. And then these Gibraltar and French explorers are going to go ahead and meet up with these I don't know who really would be exploring this. I'm going to guess it'd be like maybe Galician explorers. I don't really know if the English would be down here. But yeah. And a treaty is going to be made dividing up some of this land. So let's go and have a look at that now. So this is the treaty that is drawn up. We see that the Pyrenees country gets quite a bit of Florida. The Gibraltar country, not the Gibraltar country, the Galicia country gets pretty much all of the Caribbean. And they also get this pretty large Panama colony. And down south, these two guys just expand a bit. Now, with the English, it's a little bit different. There's no one really to oppose them because there's no one colonizing where they are. So they're actually able to get away with taking an extremely large colony. And that is going to be all of this land right here. But now we're actually going to be seeing a new country setting up a colony in the Americas. And that's actually going to be the Irish country right here. They're going to move out and kind of just go straight across. And they're going to discover this like northern Quebec area. And they're going to set themselves up a colony right here. Not the exact best spot to make a colony, but it really kind of shows their strength. We also see the Swedish do quite a bit of expansion in Greenland because they're also looking to maybe get some colonies out of the Americas. And that is going to be them taking this extremely large chunk out of Greenland. We also see Galicia attempt to do sort of an experiment. They don't know how far south this continent here goes, but they want to know if their South African colony, if they go like straight across, if they also meet up with this continent. So they're going to send out a voyage across from this South African colony. And they're going to go really far, and they're going to start to think, oh, well, there's nothing over here. However, when they keep going, they eventually meet over here with this Buenos Aires area right here. And they don't know exactly where they are, so they're kind of just going to explore around. They go really far up north, and they still don't meet up with anyone. So they think they might have found a new area, so they're going to set themselves up a colony on it right here. They decide not to tell anyone about this because they find quite a bit of gold over here, and they don't want anyone else taking it. We also see mapping out of a few more waters around it, or around Africa rather. And yeah, the world is now becoming quite explored. We're then going to see a little bit of expansion in Africa with these African countries deciding to take some land. This big blue India country, which is starting to become a very important trading power, they're going to take a very large portion of Madagascar. And that's going to be all of this right here. They're also going to take a few of these surrounding islands as well. This purple country and this green country are going to meet up, and they're going to decide to set themselves up a border right here. And the green, I guess, Tanzanian country, they're going to meet down to Lake Malawi as well. They're also going to decide to meet up with Lake Victoria, expanding and colonising and settling some of this land over here. But now we're actually going to see quite a few countries form because they see that this leftover Arabian land might be pretty good for trade with India, and we're actually going to be seeing quite a few countries form up over here. First of all, though, this Somalian country is going to take a pretty big chunk of land, now also meeting up with this Arabian country. And these new countries that we see forming up is this UAE country right over here, and this Yemen country right down here. But next up, we're actually going to be seeing a war taking place. So, over here in the Balkans, this continued struggle for power between this purple country and this green country is taking place. Before the big Baikal War and this country was invaded, the purple country had a firm control over the green country, but when the Baikal country came in, it kind of messed this system up, and now these two are kind of just fighting for influence over each other, and it's finally going to get to a point where a war is going to take place. So the green country, sick of being ruled over by foreign powers, is going to launch an invasion into their former overlords, and they're going to quickly move into this major city over here. The purple country, however, it's not just a weak country that's going to get folded here, they're also going to launch an invasion, taking a pretty large chunk of land over here, which is all of this province. The green country, however, is going to capture this major city, but this war is kind of becoming a back and forth, as the purple country is going to retake some of their land over here, and even capture this green team city. A few foreign powers are kind of looking at this now, and they're getting a bit annoyed, because if we take a look at the trade routes layer, we can kind of see that this is disrupting a lot of trade through this Central European area. So these foreign powers are going to say, cut that out and just sign peace, and because these guys don't want to get blasted by their neighbours, they are going to force to sign a ceasefire. But this is actually going to be benefiting the green country, as now the green country is kind of fully independent, and they will respond to this by making themselves a dictatorship. Lovely. Speaking of the trade routes layer, we will be having a look at an updated version of it this episode, and we will be doing that just now. We'll also be doing the power rankings as well, because obviously the Baikal country does no longer exist. But with the trade routes, we see these African countries set themselves up to this trade route right here, and they are now, instead of being like kind of tribalist, they are now really connected up to this main world. We also see a very big project be taking place, and that is a trade route connecting up all around Africa. This is kind of started when multiple different routes are kind of like joining up to each other, this South African one being like the most prevalent. And yeah, this is a big project now taking place. We also see one in the Americas over these few colonies, and also one from Florida down the Caribbean and into this one. We also see the English country set the foundations for a pretty large trade route network by building one across the coast of their colony. Sweden kind of does something weird with their trade route, I'm not too sure what they're doing. And they also connect up this Kola country, which is their ally to this trade route network. We see some of these newer Central Asian countries be connected up. This is kind of them having to pay for it themselves. And a trade route is made across the entire, I guess, Arabian Peninsula down south at the Indian Ocean. This puppet states have their capital connected up as well as this one. And over here in Asia, the Baikal countries plan to connect up the Asian trade routes to the European trade routes. It's kind of finally going to come into fruition, however, just like there's no really point of even using it, because this guy is doing the same thing that the Baikal country was doing. They're not allowing anyone to cross into them unless they are part of their religion. We also see the green country make this trade route connection right here to bypass having to go around this. So yeah, this whole big thing that the Baikal country had put a lot of money and time into is now kind of just worthless. So that sucks for them, I guess. We also see a trade route be connected up. Instead of having to go around this whole coastal area, a trade route is built after all the trees are cut down around it, connecting up through this Southeast Asian area. So yeah, that is going to be it for the updated trade routes layer today. And now we're going to be looking at the power rankings. So this is going to have changed a lot since the last time we've done it. So yeah, let's just have a look. So at number 1 is going to be Sweden. At number 2 is going to be Greece. At number 3 it's of course going to be Indonesia. At number 4 it's going to be France. At number 5, and actually taking a very large leap, they weren't even on the power rankings before, but this colonization has actually helped them out a lot. It's actually going to be Galicia. At number 6, it is going to be Carthage. At number 7, it's going to be Rome. At number 8, it's going to be India, the blue one. At number 9, it's going to be... yeah, I think at number 9 it's going to be Rome still. And at number 10, it's going to be England. So these are the updated power rankings right here. We can see some of them are quite different to the previous ones, however, not all of them. Some of them are indeed quite similar. If you would disagree with Galicia being this high up, that's fine. Maybe not yet, but soon they probably would be that strong. But yeah, that is going to be the updated power rankings. But now we're going to be going over to a new country that's just formed up that's having quite a few issues. So this pink country that formed up in the last episode, they were set up half of this light blue religion, half of this orange religion, and some of it is even this normal red religion, just barely, orange rather. And this is kind of creating some issues. The two different religious groups are fighting over power for this country. This country was set up quite religious based, however they're not a whatever it's called when your country is set up by a religion, like a theocracy or something, I don't know. And yeah, obviously with this light orange religion being the main power of it, we're actually going to see this blue religion decide to break away. So we see multiple revolts break out with this light blue religious area deciding to form their own country, and they will quickly consolidate themselves up here. The pink country is of course not going to let this happen, and the pink country will be invading into them. Now this light blue group is getting quite a bit of support from Russia. Russia is this light blue religion. We'll see some countries, maybe like Pink Romania, supporting them. However, I don't really think Pink Romania would care too much about this. It's just too small for them, you know. Pink Romania, they're just too important for this. This group is going to surprisingly do quite well. Despite their area, they do have a lot of people fighting for this, obviously, because it's like loads of people in this religious group because they're fighting for their own country. So they're obviously going to want this. The pink country is going to attempt to retake this major city, but it has been heavily fortified by the light blue religion. They value this city quite highly. It's their most populated one that's in their religion. This one is almost as populated as it. Speaking of it, they're going to capture it, and they also begin to move down. The pink country is going to attempt to make an offensive. However, at this point they can kind of just see these guys aren't going to stop fighting, so we may as well just give them their own country, and that is exactly what's going to happen. So let's take a look at this peace treaty. So in this peace treaty here, which I have drawn based on the religion, all of the provinces that are a majority of this light blue religion, you can kind of see there, they become part of this brand new country. Whoops. And just like that. Their capital will be right here, their most populated city. Oh, I don't like that border. Hang on, I'm just going to fix up this border because I really don't like that. Okay, just to kind of fix up this border, I've made a new province right here. And yeah, this can kind of be split. There we go. So yeah, new country get their independence based on that light blue religion right there. Kind of sucks for the pink team. Next up, we're going to be seeing a little bit more expansion in Asia. This Vietnamese country is going to continue moving in. And they're now kind of meeting up with this red country in order to gain further access to this trade route right here that has just been constructed. The red country will do the same, and these two countries will officially connect up. And I guess this land down here can go to the lime team, who has finally been cut off, even though they weren't really bothered about this land up here. We also see a few of these Chinese countries decide to expand. This light blue country is going to take about this much land. This brown country is going to take this land. And this gold country, which barely even has access to this land because they got blasted in that war, they're going to take that land right there. Moving over to Australia, we see the lime team is going to take a little bit more land. It's kind of getting a bit far for them as well. And you might be thinking, oh, these guys are getting so big, they have so much instability. They actually don't. They have a very efficient way of running their government. It's kind of like all the different islands are kind of like separate, but they're all united under the king. And all the islands are kind of happy about this. It means they get to rule themselves, sort of. And yeah, and all of these islands are treated equally. It's not like some racial inequality stuff. So yeah, these guys are setting themselves up for quite a bit of success. I'm also going to do it at this point where some more of the Himalayas are going to get discovered. not too realistic for them to be fully discovered yet, so I'm not going to fully get rid of that grey area. But yeah, quite a bit of it is going to be discovered. We're also going to see Qatar do a little bit of expansion right here. But now there is a pretty big event that I need to cover. So, the Triangle Alliance. This alliance was created kind of to stand against the Baikal country. And now that the Baikal country is gone, these guys don't really see a point of being in it anymore. And this alliance is basically just going to collapse. Carthage is going to leave it now, going back to their own alliance, the Square Alliance. Greece is going to leave it. Turkey is going to leave it. All of these Arabian countries are going to leave it. And there are actually going to be a few new alliances forming after this, but we'll talk about that in a second. These guys will all be leaving, and Russia will be leaving. So, oh yeah, that completely collapsed actually. No country stayed in it. But yeah, but there will be a few kind of new alliances sort of coming out of it. We see this Diamond Alliance form between Egypt, Jordan, and this Arabian country, and this is of course because they all have the same religion. Despite the fact that these countries had come out of Egypt, this isn't the same Egypt that had conquered their land, so they are fine to be friendly with them. We also see a religious-based alliance form. This is between Greece, Turkey, and Ukraine. And this is actually a big step for Greece because they had been enemies with Turkey before, but now they're actually becoming quite good allies with them. And this is obviously red because this alliance is formed by being in the same religion. And the final alliance we're going to see form is this 3-point star alliance, and this is between this green team and Russia. These guys are the same alliance, and the green team is also kind of looking for some protection against these guys. But that is actually going to be the final event of this video. So, if you did enjoy this video, please make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. And a big thank you to all of our channel superfans. This includes Lasertaste and English Mapper, as well as a thank you to our recent donators, English Mapper, Coley, and Isle of the Lime Team Monarchy. Thank you guys.